I wanted to talk about this because I know Wednesday we've been talking about like visualizing, like, what do you want the end of your career to look like? And I think one of the things that is important is creating tangible steps to your career, or to your dreams, right? I know we all have our own dreams, but something that I think is very important, even before we have this conversation, is to be very present during this conversation, because people sharing their dreams and what they want to accomplish can be nerve wracking. It can be uncomfortable. And then it can also be maybe the first time they've actually said it out loud. So, in understanding that full space, I want us to be focusing and listen to our colleagues and making sure that we are actively, asking questions, participating in this activity as well, but then also being sensitive to, encouraging them to pursue their dreams, even if it doesn't make sense to you, right? Because what you all are, you know, going through this program didn't make sense to a lot of people. And it's thriving and it's helping a lot of students. So it's just a testament to say it doesn't have to make sense to you, but if it makes sense to the person, encourage them and support them in that space. Everyone feel good about that? Cool. So because we have a smaller group today, we are all going to share what our dreams are. Even myself, I'm going to go last, but let's go with the first question. Who wants to read off the first question real quick? And it can't be Anthony and it can't be Nita. Sorry. Got to it. Just I gotta, we gotta get new blood talking.
I'll read the first question. What's the biggest dream you want to achieve? Let me go first too.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, it's not really like a super big dream, but just to move my mom out of Chicago, something like that, and like basically just race fast car, or race Hellcats, my brother. No, not nothing, not nothing super just extraordinary, but it's a dream that's on the way of happening.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Who wants to go next? If Nita and Anthony, y'all can speak now. Y'all don't have to hold up.
Sorry about that. So the biggest dreams I do want to achieve, I have two honestly. One is a personal dream that I've always had since I was like little, and it's to work for WWE as a filmmaker, or if not, the social media manager. And then the other one is community wise. Since I am graduating for computer science, I want to gain a lot more knowledge and network with a lot more people. So later on, towards my retirement side, I create foundations and programs for communities, especially for the ones that I grew up in, for STEM projects, just to give out resources for their families that are there and help them out and invest in the youth, honestly.
Great. I love that.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
Can I just go with what came in the first thought that came into my head? Because I don't know if I have like anything like physically big dream, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's self-love. That's my biggest dream, just to really anchor that in and allowing myself to be the best version of myself that I can be, just because I didn't have that opportunity to do so growing up. So that's what I want to work on.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Kayla, what about you? I can see you in my screen. Sorry.
For me, I don't know, I've been like juggling with that question because I don't know, I have a lot of small dreams that I wouldn't really know if I would say really are big at the moment. But I know that whatever I do, I want to make sure like it's encouraging people, whether it's that's through design or just speaking in general to people, just pretty much helping people in just different ways.
I love that. Yeah. Even Anthony got some parallels there. Morelda, how about you?
Well, I've always had like the dream since I was a kid to like just be a mom. Like I've always just wanted kids, so I guess my biggest dream.
Wow, I love that. That's exciting. How many kids do you want?
I've always said like three is a good number. Like I come from a family of three, so
Are you the oldest?
yes.
See, I got that radar. I can understand. I can understand. That's gonna be a whole nother topic discussion. We're gonna talk about birth chart next, but it's very understanding. Very cool. Let's go Maddie, and then Bree, and then TD after that.
Yeah, so kind of going off of that, I think this is pretty vague, but I just kind of said like overall, my biggest goal, because it didn't really specify like career or whatever, but I think just to have like a successful home and like lifestyle with like a family. I think that's kind of going off the mom thing has kind of always been a dream of mine. Start a family and kind of like be a homemaker in those ways, not to maybe make that my entire life. Like I still want a career, but to focus on that in a lot of ways. So
I love that. I relate to that as well. I won't share it yet, but I relate to that. Thank you for sharing. Let's go Bree next.
For me, it's since I'm into photography, I want to be able to travel to different places and then
okay.
meet a whole bunch of different people, and I just have like stories to tell, like be able to tell stories and like come back and like build more connections and stuff like that throughout my life.
Where do you want to, where's like your first place you would want to travel?
I don't know, honestly. I think like just like different places throughout the States just for me to get comfortable, and then like places like outside of the United States.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. TD and then Nakane, we're just sharing what are our dreams. So that's our first question that you might have saw on Slack. So Nakane, you'll share last, and then TD, you'll go next.
I have a lot of dreams, like a lot of big ideas. So I guess what ties them all together is like being able to create platforms for people, and what do I say? Like, I guess open a space. I guess like I'm really into like film business, and I know that it's a very undiscussed thing here, but it's such a fundamental part of having a successful industry. So I guess I'd just like to open up the discussion surrounding and understanding film and film business, because a lot of people in South Africa who want to be creative obviously do not have access to understand the business of the creative industry. So I guess I'm trying to figure that out myself, and I want to be as open as possible, just so everybody can like have a chance and have a go at it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great endeavor. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And Nakane.
Yeah, I also think I have a lot of that. Like my top two would be I'd like to create like a hybrid design studio. Basically, there's like a lot of things, graphics, textiles, fashion, and everything. Just combine everything together because of people like do it separately, not like a combination of it. Sorry, being someone that grew up, I believe that small towns have a lot of history, and not a lot of people like to tell the history. So I want to travel like around like the small towns in Africa, and then just use the history as an inspiration for like my designs and the work that I want to create in the future.
That's very cool. Yeah. I like that, especially tying in the history point. I'm a history buff, so I love diving into other cultures' history.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's give everyone a round of applause for sharing, because that was not easy. Some people, this is their first time sharing that. So thinking about what we just all spoke about, right? The reason, and I think I'm going to reiterate the point of what I said at the beginning, but the reason for doing so really stems from the place of, hey, what is this picture of what I'm aiming towards for, right? Some of you talked about personal stuff, some of you talked about career stuff, and all those things mix in with one another, right? For me, right, I can speak from my standpoint and kind of elaborate on that. But for me, it's similar in that vein of my goal of being an entrepreneur and giving back to other people was always set in the foundation of being able to have flexibility in my life to make sure that I can be there for the big moments of my children or the people that I love. And I think that is something that I'm always looking to attain, but sometimes it gets lost, right? And these are things that you have to consistently check in with yourself to say, hey, am I loving myself? Am I doing this for a bigger picture of my family, right? Why am I doing this? And it's a little tongue twister, but how and what I'm doing now, how is that going to affect the future goal of that? Or how can I start to put into place right now the boundaries and the things of that nature that will allow me to have that time and space with my family, my friends, whatever it might be, loving myself. So it's very important to start to establish that. And it's okay to set boundaries in that space, right? Like all of you all know, or most of you should know by now, Sunday, I'm not responding to any messages because I take that day for myself and to recharge, right? So the more that you start to do that and you start to discover that for yourself at the beginning, the easier it is to implement that throughout your life, right? And the reason why we're having these discussions is because too many times people talk about implementing these big ideas or these boundaries later in life rather than doing it right away at the top, at the beginning of your career. And these are things that turn into habits and they create ease for your life. And you can easily move in between those spaces as well. So that's the main reason we're sharing this. Now, with the rest of the time, I am going to have us answer the next two questions in a group setting. We'll come back here. I would say at 10:05 at the latest. If you get back earlier, don't come any earlier than 10 o'clock because all of you should be circling and sharing with one another. Just because I'm not there, I still want you all to make sure that you're actually sharing and you're staying focused on what everyone else is saying. So if you're able to have your camera on, great. If not, make sure you're focusing in on it. Don't be distracted about what's going on around you. Focus in, give everyone the attention that you would want to give if you were sharing vulnerable information about yourself as well. Sound good?
I guess for my group, Kayla and G were definitely like more leaning towards like working on their graphic design skills. Like Kayla is like her goal is to like help people and help encourage people to be just encouraging people, and she was doing that through graphic design and showed us an example. And G was wanting to like also get into game design, so we kind of discussed that.
What about you? You can share what you talked about.
What about me? I just talked about how I got to the place of wanting to love myself more and what I'm doing. So I guess I'm reading books, meditating every day, and changing up my mentality throughout the day. So like if I have like automatic thoughts, I'm like, okay, take a pause and like what can I actually think, or how can I think better so that it sticks to me more instead of like constantly going down like a negative rabbit hole.
Thank you for sharing. Group 2 or 3, either one. Doesn't need to be in order.
I could talk about what I had said, and the part where I came a realization to where I wanted to be. I had spoke with my group members saying that it was a night when I was just doing computer programming for an assignment, and it was very late at night, and my fiance was sleeping, and I'm just like, man, I enjoy computing, like it's pretty cool and all, but it's just like this is not something I really want to do all night, all day and night for the rest of my life. This is not something that's it for me. So then I just started brainstorming. I was like, I like media. I enjoy WWE, and I'm just like, I used to have a huge passion for filmmaking and media, so I don't know why I stopped. I think with me entering college is what put a pause to that, and I just thought that computer science was for me 100%. But then that me realizing that literally in the winter, like the past winter, I realized that for me, and I was like, I need to pursue something where I could do media work in regards to anything that's media, because I love posting and I like seeing content online and I like sharing other people's content. So yeah, I realized that, and then a couple months later, I seen the application for Dim University, and I took the opportunity. I seen it's like a moment like how you said, Mo, like the world is speaking to you. Like literally, I was thinking that in my brain, like I want to do media, and then this opportunity comes up in my Indeed page, and I'm just not Indeed, it's Handshake, but so yeah, so that I took that sign and I took it, and now I'm here, and I do not regret it not one bit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Let's go to the last group.
There was like a similarity with Brie and Nakane with like wanting to travel and like stuff like that, and like exploring, just like telling stories and just like learning about different, just like the world, I guess. And I also like related to Brie about how like coming from a small town and then wanting to just kind of like explore outside of that.
Yeah, I relate to that as well. Thank y'all all for sharing. Let's go. Give a round of applause. Close it out strong.